It often surprises people when I admit to them that deep down I lack confidence. You see, I have a ton of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, along with these underlying negative assumptions that started growing in my head when I was young. I refer to this as my black box. It's inside me, constantly working against me. And I have to fight every single day to ensure that I recognize that black box. And I thank it for trying to protect me. And then I strive for what I would love. It surprises many because I often come across as confident, fearless, or a risk taker. Because after a devastating divorce, I moved to New York City, I moved to England. I also backpacked through Asia solo. I left a well established job to start my own business. Some people envied me, others told me I was crazy. I learned over time that people's comments were really their own fears talking. I was able to accomplish these things because I didn't listen to my own talk track or my own black box. I used my courage to recognize all of these things, appreciate them, and ask myself, what's the worst thing that could happen? With the help of my dear friend and creative coach, Carrie Nialis, together we've talked about what courage really means for a leader. We noted that it's the ability to think idealistically, to go for what you would love rather than what you think you ought to do, and name your black box that keeps you from accomplishing what you truly want. Carrie uses the term spirit and instinct or cage, and I use black box. Sometimes I'll talk about freedom versus fear or thinking idealistically and not realistically. Whatever phrase and term lands with you, ultimately it's about having the courage to take the path less traveled, both personally and professionally. In the book Magician's Way by William Whitecloud, he tells a story that resonates with me. It's about two paths. The first path is broad, it's paved, it's sunny, and it'll lead you to the swamp. The second is dark, narrow, and overgrown, which would ultimately lead you to the island. A true leader is one that's willing to take the risk to get to that island. My challenge for you this week is to name it, to tame it. What are all the talk tracks, the thoughts, the preconceived notions? What protective elements do you use regularly to keep you from doing what you would love to do and ultimately drive change in your life or in your business? What areas do you need to have the courage to overcome? This is not about changing who you are. It's about recognizing these items, appreciating they are there to protect you, and then having the courage to take the actions that are truly needed to accomplish greatness. Here are just some of the phrases that I allowed myself and still allow myself to listen to sometimes, and I have to ignore. They're in my black box. I often feel I'm unworthy, not good enough, or that I don't have the capacity or the capability or the time to do something. At other times, I don't feel like I can trust others or myself. A big one for me is that sometimes I believe there's a certain way of doing things or the right way of doing it. As a girl, I have grown up believing that my achievements then meant that a man was failing. The list goes on. But when you can name it, then you can tame it. You can step around it and strive for the things you truly want. So, what does this all have to do with being a better leader at work? As leaders, we are often want to do what is easy or what we think we have to do. True leaders, though, will stop to think what is needed for the individual, the team, and the company and come up with a solution. And so, although it may be hard to execute, it will prove beneficial in the long run. If you worked with me before, you'll often hear me asking, what are your fears, uncertainties, and doubt? I'm constantly asking this when we're driving any kind of change through an organization. Because when you can understand people's fears, uncertainties, and doubt, or as I say, FUD, then you can help them find the courage to overcome it. You can help them understand the why. So I challenge you this week, name it to tame it. And I hope you can find your black box and have the courage to truly tame it. Good luck.